The Yellow Turban Rebellion was a massive peasant uprising during the late Eastern Han Dynasty. Known for its large-scale, religiously driven movement, the rebellion occurred during the reign of Emperor Ling when the government was heavily influenced by the eunuchs, known as the Ten Attendants, who controlled the imperial court and spread their influence across China. The eunuchs and their families were notorious for their corruption, exploiting the people and worsening the hardships faced by the common folk. As a result, the people's livelihoods were in dire straits. At the same time, widespread crop failures and heavy taxation exacerbated the suffering of the peasants. The people were deeply religious, and one man, Zhang Jiao, a believer in Taoism, seized the opportunity to spread his teachings. Zhang, a healer from Julu, began to provide aid to the sick in the disaster-stricken region of Ji province, using traditional medicine while also promoting his religious beliefs. His teachings, which called for social equality and an end to exploitation, quickly gained the support of the oppressed masses. Zhang Jiao formed a religious sect known as the Taiping Dao, which preached peace and justice. Drawing in a large following, he trained disciples, expanding his movement far and wide. By the year 184, Zhang Jiao had organized his followers into a highly disciplined structure, dividing them into 36 military regions. These groups ranged in size from thousands to tens of thousands of followers, all under the command of their leader, Zhang Jiao, who was determined to overthrow the Han Dynasty and establish a new order under the banner of the Yellow Turbans. The movement spread rapidly, gaining momentum and support from peasants throughout the empire. It was a pivotal moment in Chinese history, where social unrest and religious fervor combined to challenge the authority of the imperial government. Zhang Jiao's efforts set the stage for a large-scale rebellion that would have significant repercussions for the fall of the Han Dynasty and the eventual rise of the Three Kingdoms period. As Zhang Jiao's movement gained momentum, he followed the teachings of the Taiping Sutra, which emphasized harmony with the five elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. According to this belief, the cycle of life and death, as well as the rise and fall of dynasties, was determined by these natural elements. Zhang Jiao believed that the Han Dynasty, represented by the fire element, had already reached the end of its cycle and would soon be replaced by the earth element, symbolized by his Taiping Dao, way of peace. Therefore, he declared that the Taiping Dao would succeed the corrupt Han Dynasty. Zhang Jiao selected an auspicious date for the rebellion, March 5th, in the first year of Emperor Ling's reign, which he believed would mark the start of a new era. To symbolize the end of the old and the rise of the new, his followers adopted the color gold as a symbol of their movement, marking their rejection of the Han Dynasty's corruption and the beginning of a golden age under their rule. In preparation for the uprising, Zhang Jiao ordered his followers to spread the message widely. His disciples wrote slogans on the walls of Luoyang and nearby towns using lime, while others went to the provinces of Jingzhou and Yangzhou, calling on thousands of followers to gather in Yeqing for the planned uprising. Meanwhile, Zhang Jiao himself made secret arrangements in the imperial capital, Luoyang, and worked with eunuchs like Feng Su and officials like Su Feng to coordinate an internal uprising. They planned to rise up on March 5th, when they believed the heavens would align with their cause. However, their plans were betrayed when one of Zhang Jiao's disciples, named Tang Zhou, leaked the information to the authorities. A government official exposed the conspirators, including Ma Yuanyi, an insider who had been working with Zhang Jiao. The imperial court immediately took action, capturing Ma Yuanyi and beginning to round up the movement's followers, arresting over 1,000 of them in the capital. Despite the early betrayal, Zhang Jiao and his followers quickly acted to initiate the rebellion. They sent out urgent messages to their groups across the country to begin the uprising at once. Zhang Jiao, along with his brothers Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang, declared themselves generals of the heavens, earth, and the people, respectively. Zhang Jiao, adopting the title of General of the Heavenly Palace, led his followers in a mass revolt, marking the beginning of the Yellow Turban Rebellion. After the uprising began, the common people rallied to Zhang Jiao's cause. The rebel forces quickly took over towns, burning government buildings and killing officials. Within a month, battles broke out in all 7 provinces and 28 commanderies across the country. The Golden Army's momentum was unstoppable, and the imperial forces were unable to contain the rebellion, which spread rapidly throughout the region. In response to the escalating threat, Emperor Ling of Han appointed He Jin as the Grand General to counter the rebellion, placing him and his forces in charge of defending the capital. He also reinforced the capital's defenses by placing guards at key checkpoints and ordered local commanderies to raise their own armies in preparation for battle. Meanwhile, the imperial court took additional measures to combat the uprising. Officials such as Huang Fusong in the northern commandery of Beatty sought support from the court to secure funds and military resources to fight the rebels. The emperor, after consulting with his advisors, accepted their recommendations and issued decrees to bolster the military's readiness. While the government made its preparations, Zhang Jiao's forces continued their advance. The rebel armies not only defeated imperial forces in several battles, but also managed to capture important commanderies like Yingchuan and Luoyang, spreading fear across the empire. By May, as the situation worsened, the imperial court sent reinforcements under the leadership of Cao Cao to relieve the besieged forces in Changsha. However, the Yellow Turbans remained unyielding, continuing their fight with determination and strength, showing no signs of retreat despite the mounting pressure from the imperial military. Before Cao Cao arrived, Huang Fusong used fire to destroy the Golden Army's camp. He ordered his soldiers to set fire to the dry grass surrounding the camp, causing chaos among the enemy ranks. As the Golden Army retreated in disarray, they encountered Cao Cao's reinforcements, and with Huang Fusong and Zhu Jun's forces attacking from multiple directions, the Golden Army was routed, suffering massive casualties. By June, in Nanyang, the governor Qin Xie led his forces in battle against Zhang Manqing of the Golden Army and successfully killed him. The remaining Golden Army troops were reorganized under Zhao Hong and occupied the town of Cheng. Meanwhile, Huang Fusong and Zhu Jun's forces continued to fight against the Golden Army in Runan. In a series of battles, the Golden Army's remaining forces were decimated. At Yangdi, they were defeated by the combined forces of Zhu Jun and Cao Cao, and their leader, Bo Kai, was killed. The remnants of the Golden Army attempted to escape to Wancheng, but they were intercepted by Sun Jian's troops and defeated once again. Meanwhile, in the north, Lu Ji's forces achieved a major victory over Zhang Jiao's main army, killing tens of thousands. Zhang Jiao was forced to retreat to Guangzhou, where Lu Ji pursued him relentlessly. Lu Ji also took measures to secure his forces, digging trenches and building siege ladders in preparation for further action. However, due to a political conflict, Lu Ji's efforts were undermined. He refused to bribe the imperial censor, Zhuofeng, and was subsequently falsely accused of failing in battle. He was recalled to the capital, and after angering the emperor, he was relieved of his post and sent back to the capital under guard. Following Lu Ji's removal, the court reorganized the military strategy, appointing Dong Zhuo as his replacement to continue the fight against Zhang Jiao. Meanwhile, Zhu Jun's forces continued their siege on the Golden Army stronghold at Cheng. But despite prolonged efforts from June to August, they were unable to break through. Amidst these developments, rumors began circulating that provincial commanders would be replaced. Fortunately, the minister Zhang was advised against this, and the replacements were not carried out. As a result, the provincial forces continued to press the siege of Wancheng, determined to bring an end to the rebellion. After Zhao Hong, the commander of the Golden Army, was killed, the remaining forces, now led by Han Zhong, continued to occupy Cheng. However, Zhu Jun's forces were outnumbered, so he employed a strategy of feigned movements. He made it seem as though he was preparing to attack the southwest of the city, drawing the Golden Army's attention. As expected, the enemy forces rushed to the southwest camp. But Zhu Jun instead led 5,000 elite soldiers to attack the northeast. He successfully captured the outer city and forced Han Zhong to retreat into the inner city. With morale low, the Golden Army inside the city sent envoys to surrender. Zhu Jun, intent on eliminating them, refused their offer. The Golden Army, left with no options, decided to hold out in the inner city. To speed up the end of the siege, Zhu Jun ordered a partial withdrawal of his forces, easing the pressure on Han Zhong. As expected, Han Zhong led a portion of his troops to break out. However, Zhu Jun quickly pursued and inflicted heavy casualties on the retreating Golden Army, killing over 10,000 and capturing Han Zhong. Despite his capture, Han Zhong was executed by Zhu Jun's subordinates, which caused unrest among the remaining Golden Army forces in Wancheng. In response, they elected Sun Xia as their new leader to continue the fight against Zhu Jun. Once again, Zhu Jun launched a rapid attack, killing Sun Xia and more than 10,000 of his troops. The Golden Army was finally forced to disband, and the region around Wancheng was pacified. Meanwhile, Huang Fusong's forces reached Dongjun in August, where they defeated the Golden Army's forces under the leadership of Qiu. Over 7,000 enemy soldiers were killed. However, Dong Zhuo was unable to succeed in his attack on Zhang Jiao in Guangzhou. He then ordered Huang Fusong to continue the campaign in the north. By October, when Huang Fusong arrived in Guangzhou, Zhang Jiao had already died from illness. Huang Fusong then engaged in battle with Zhang Jiao's brother, Zhang Liang. Their first encounter ended in a stalemate. Huang Fusong chose to rest his forces and sent scouts to observe the enemy's movements. When the Golden Army showed signs of weakening, Huang Fusong launched a dawn assault, and after a long battle that lasted until the afternoon, he successfully broke the enemy's line. He killed Zhang Liang and over 30,000 of his troops, ending the conflict. In November, Huang Fusong, alongside Guodian, the governor of Julu, successfully captured Cuyang and killed Zhang Bao, while also taking over 100,000 prisoners. With this, the Golden Turmoil led by the Zhang brothers was finally suppressed. Though the Zhang brothers' uprising was crushed by the Eastern Han court, the authority of the Han Dynasty suffered a severe blow. However, Emperor Ling of Han failed to reflect on the reasons behind the rebellion and instead chose to continue his pursuit of pleasure. Meanwhile, small rebellions continued to break out across various regions, and many decentralized military forces emerged. The remaining forces of the Golden Army, along with local peasant militias, continued their resistance to suppress the growing number of uprisings. Emperor Ling of Han adopted the suggestion of Liu Yan to grant some officials local military and political power. This was intended to better manage the ongoing rebellions and deal with the remnants of the Golden Army. In 192 AD, Cao Cao launched a series of day and night battles, defeating the Golden Army forces in Yizhong and killing over 1 million soldiers. From the survivors, he formed the elite troops of the Qinzhou army. By 205 AD, Zhang Yan, the leader of the Black Mountain Army, and his over 100,000 troops surrendered to Cao Cao, who was consolidating control over northern China. With this final surrender, the last remnants of the Golden Army were completely wiped out.